Everyone. I would like to call this meeting to order. Good evening. Roll call, please, Mr. Juskiewicz.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Stanley? Ms. Young?
Here.
Ms. Penna?
Here. Okay, adequate notice of this meeting of the Berkeley Heights Board of Education was given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act as follows. On November 6, 2023, notice of the Board of Education meeting schedule was sent to the Star Ledger and the Courier News and was also provided to all schools, PTO presidents, the BEHEA president, and posted at the administration building. A copy was also provided to the public library and filed with the municipal clerk. Whereas the Berkeley Heights Board of Education seeks to adjourn to executive session in full compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec. And whereas the Open Public Meetings Act provides that a public body may exclude the public from that portion of the meeting at which it discusses matters related to those identified below. Matters rendered confidential by federal law, state law, or court rule. Individual privacy, collective bargaining agreements, purchase or lease of real property at public interest could be adversely affected. Investment of public funds at public interest could be adversely affected. Tactics or techniques utilized in protecting public safety and property, pending or anticipated litigation, attorney-client privilege, personnel, employment matters affecting specific prospective or current employees. Be it resolved that the Berkeley Heights Board of Education adjourns to executive session to discuss matters related to contract negotiations, student matters, and legal matters. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the discussion of any of these items will be disclosed to the public when matters have been determined and confidentiality is no longer applicable. May I have a motion to adjourn to executive session? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. We should be back approximately 7:30. Everyone, nice to see so many faces. I would like a motion to return to public session.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can we please stand for the flag salute?
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We will go straight into the report of the student representatives.
Hello, everyone. There is not much news as the month has been a transition from the end of the fall sports season to the beginning of the winter sports season. But here is what has been going on so far. The boys and girls basketball team both had their first game of the season today and defeated their rival Dayton. The boys fencing team has their first meet this Saturday, and the girls fencing team has their first meet next week on Tuesday. The boys and girls swimming teams are both 0-2 to start the season, losing to Westfield and Summit to begin their season. The ice hockey team started their season 2-0 with strong wins against St. Joe's Montville and Livingston as they look to chase a three-peat in their state championships. The wrestling team starts their season tonight with their first matchup against Brearley. Thank you.
Good evening. Last Thursday, December 7th, GL sophomores had the opportunity to participate in Challenge Day, which allowed students to grow closer to their peers, leave their comfort zones, and learn more about mental health. Many students and staff who participated in this program enjoyed their experience and hope to bring it back to GL annually. Recently, GL students have been engaging in vital community service, such as the Interact Club, when they held a toy sorting event for St. Joseph's Social Service Center. On December 12th, the annual winter concert for the choir and orchestra was held, and one more winter concert for the band is scheduled for January 11th. Additionally, the GL National Art Honor Society is busy making sculptures to include in Peppertown Park, alongside some that are already featured there for the holidays. On December 18th, the Art Club will also be holding a winter market outside of the cafeteria selling handmade gifts. This December, the Governor Livingston Diversity Committee and Club Council have coordinated to create a winter culture festival that will take place tomorrow in the Blue Gym. The goal of this event is to experience how different cultures celebrate the holidays and learn more about the community here at GL. As we approach the beginning of 2024, GL students are starting to think about their schedules for the next school year, and during lunch on Tuesday, December 19th, they can attend an informational session about electives in the Blue Gym. Thank you.
Thank you both very much. Do any of the board members have any questions for our student representatives? No? Okay, moving on. So we'll move right on to the report of the superintendent. In this case, it's the report of the assistant superintendent. Dr. Varley, unfortunately, will not be able to attend tonight. She is very, very ill. And so we will be having Dr. Giordano report on the assistant superintendent report this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Penna. So right off the bat, I'm going to introduce Ms. Ann Clifton, our fantastic athletic director, who's going to report on our amazing girls volleyball team.
What do you want to do?
Use the mic. Use the mic.
Welcome, and I'm really excited to be here tonight and to honor our amazing girls volleyball team. So just a little teeny bit. They are our 2023 NJSI Central Group 2 back-to-back state champions. Before I introduce our coach, I'd like to extend a big thank you to some few special people. First, I'd like to thank our volleyball parents. Your support is second to none. It was so exciting to experience this championship chase with all of you. Second, I'd like to thank the Board of Education and our central office for your outstanding support of all of our athletic programs and especially our volleyball team. I'd like to also thank our volleyball players, student athletes for their hard work and commitment to your skills. You're such an amazing group of young ladies that represent Highlander Nation with pride and passion. Our seniors are leaving a legacy of greatness, and I know our underclassmen have the desire to go back to back, ready for this, to back in 2024. Now, I'd like to introduce our head coach, Steve Hess. So Steve Hess has been our head coach for 2 years and 2 state championships. Not a bad start to a career. So Steve is caring, thoughtful, and most of all, he has a great drive to continue to hone his coaching skills. It's an honor to work with him every day, and it's an honor to watch him lead our team to greatness. And I know 2024 is going to be the exact same thing. So Coach Steve Hess.
Thank you. All right. Thank you all. Let me also thank the Board of Ed and appreciate the recognition tonight and all of your support. And thank you to our athletic director, Ann Clifton, and her assistant, Ashley Reedy, who's out at the moment, but has been a huge support all through the season. Thanks also to our administration, Rob Nixon, and all of them. Have been very supportive all year. And really, there's a huge group of people that are behind a winning team. Ann already mentioned our parents. We do have a just terrific set of parents. Really appreciate all the support all of you have given us, coming to games, fundraising, doing all those little things. Jane Sotosanti especially was our parent liaison to the Booster Club, and she was absolutely terrific. And she's going to be still with us next year, but passing the mantle on to the Kims, and that'll be a work great as well. Dennis has been helping out with videoing for years, which gives us a competitive advantage. And thanks for the custodians and the transportation group that helps get us to the games and take care of us as well. I also wanted, before I thank the girls, who are the most important part, also mention our coaches. We have a great coaching staff. Emily Montgomery is one of our phys ed teachers here, coached our JV, and was one of my assistants. We also have a longtime volunteer assistant coach from the community, Mike Brokes, who plays a pivotal role. And our freshman coach is also a PE teacher here, Ali Dabrowski, and she's assisted by Kelly McAdam, who's one of our paraprofessionals here. So great team of people help us get there. I have lots and lots of help. And really, we had such a senior team with girls that was so experienced that they did a lot of leadership themselves this year. They figured out a lot of their own problems, and often we would turn to them and say, well, this is what's happening. How can we fix this? And they had a lot of great ideas. They're all going to be a bunch of future coaches there. I do want to mention just a couple of highlights this season. Obviously, winning the state sectional championship was a really big one. But really, for me, the biggest highlight was this team themselves, just spending time with these girls. They were terrific teammates. We had a short losing streak at one point, and they didn't change. They were still supporting each other. They were still positive, working to get better every day. And, you know, whether we had won the state sectional or had a mediocre season, they would have been a great group to work with all year. It would have gotten better, and it would have been a terrific season. But of course, a lot more fun when you keep winning and winning. So a couple other highlights before I list the team. We really did have a terrific season the whole way. We played 3 tournaments this year and didn't lose a single set in any pool play through 3 tournaments. We ended up winning one of those tournaments in Millburn. First time we've ever done that. We also were in a final, another tournament, and lost to Immaculate Heart, which was ranked 2nd in the state, and made it pretty deep into the other tournament and got beat by Union Catholic, who was in the top 20. And we beat a couple of top 20 teams in those tournaments, Riverdale and Bogota. So we ended up playing top 20 teams all year. We beat Union Catholic for the first time ever. They were in the top 20. And one of the things that I was most proud of with this team is that we are a top 20 team now, which we've never been in the history of GL. So we finished 19th this season. You know, that's out of all teams, all sizes in the state. So it's nice that we'll finally get a little bit of recognition from NJ.com and the other people that watch volleyball closely. That's pretty much the best things that happened this season. I mean, there were so many I could go on and on. But last thing I want to say was, you know, there were actually 3 teams in the top 20 in the 6 teams in our division. That's pretty crazy. And there's no other division in the state that has half their teams in the top 20. So that says that we're not only winning, but we're winning against the absolute best in the state. And that's, I think, what helped us go deep into the sectional playoffs this year, is that every game we played all year was a tough match. And these girls held up really well too. I mean, it was a long season. We're in the gym till 7 o'clock most nights because we practice 5 to 7 because we only have one gym that's volleyball ready. So that would wear down a lot of teams, but you know, this team played some of our best volleyball. I'll tell you, I had to get that in there. I'm lobbying hard to have 2 gyms at this high school that are ready for volleyball, but just saying. Anyway, it's the team that we really want to recognize, and let's get them up here. And
is Angela's going to read the just the beginning of it, and then you're going to start.
So as I read the resolution, Coach, if you can jump in and read the names, I know you will pronounce them way better than I probably will. Okay. Whereas the varsity girls volleyball team of Governor Livingston High School, located in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, consists of players, captain. I'll read the names.
oh, sure. All right. We have captains Avery Saturnia, Captain Annie Kuzman, Sarah Alves, Brianna Guerrero, Gabby Enriquez, Sam Hun, Abby Kim, Anna Kramarchik, Ava Lombardi, Haley Motz, Madison Murphy, Gia Nalik, Paulina Provatorova, Julie Rinaldi, and Eva Sodasanti, and student managers Navia Kanwar, Coco Lewis, and Mariah Robinson. And the 3 most important ones are these 3 right here, which is Ava Lombardi, Anna Kramarchik, and Sam Hun.
Okay. And I'll finish reading the resolution. Whereas the team is coached by head coach Stephen Hess and assistant coach Emily Montgomery and volunteer coach Michael Brokes. And whereas the varsity girls volleyball team of Governor Livingston High School and the title of 2023 NJSIAA State Sectional Central Group 2 champion by defeating Raritan High School by the score of 2-0 on November 7, 2023 at Governor Livingston High School. Whereas the team outscored their sectional opponents 200 to 87 points en route to the championship. And whereas the Highlanders completed the 2023 season with a record of 21 wins, 7 losses. And whereas the 2023, in 2023, the volleyball team was back-to-back state sectional champions, and the team saw each of its members contribute individually to the team during its championship run. Whereas the Berkeley Heights and Mountainside communities are very proud of the accomplishments of this team and its coaches, and now therefore be it resolved that the Berkeley Heights Board of Education members applaud the 2023 girls volleyball team and congratulate the student athletes and the coaching staff on their outstanding championship season. And be it resolved that a signed and sealed copy of this resolution be framed and kept on display at Governor Livingston High School. signed and sealed this the 14th day of December of the year 2023.
Where we going?
Can I just say, I'm really proud of the team. I got to watch many of your games, and it's just so nice to watch you guys play. It's really fun. And Coach, I just want to thank you too, because even during the losses, you just such great sportsmanship. So it really is such a great thing. And I know my daughter, she's only in 6th grade, and she looks up to you guys so much. So it's really great to have that. And then, Anne, I just want to say congratulations on a wonderful fall, because we had a lot of teams that did amazing things and a lot of firsts. I know our field hockey and our football had firsts. So it's really great. It was really great to see. Yeah, it's exciting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to the recognition of board members Joy Young and Robert Chinchuli. Before I read the resolutions, I'd like to just say something on behalf of Dr. Varley. She gave me something to read on her behalf. The December meeting always comes with regret. We spend 3 years getting to know board members and spending a lot of time together, and then they leave us. Tonight, I want to take a moment to talk about Robert Chinchuli. Right now, Robert is the longest standing board member. I met him back in 2019. Our relationship hasn't always been smooth, but I can say this: Robert works hard to do what is best for our children of Berkeley Heights. Robert, you will be missed. Good luck, and enjoy all the time that you're getting back.
I appreciate her candor, even now, or especially now.
Joy, you are an extremely busy woman, yet you found the time to conduct a service that many do not volunteer for. You've given your time, your dedication, and your devotion to the children of Berkeley Heights. I thank you for your service and enjoy all the time you're getting back. I am so very sorry that I'm not present to thank you both in person. Okay, so I have a resolution. Can I just want to do it just from here? You can do it from here, see now. So I'd first, yes, thank you. I'd first like to read the resolution for Joy Young, so from the Board of Education. Whereas Joy Young is a resident of Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, and whereas Joy has been a member of the Berkeley Heights Board of Education, dedicating herself to providing for the educational needs of the students in the Berkeley Heights public schools. And whereas Joy has served as a member of the Berkeley Heights Board of Education with distinction from January 2021 through December 2023. And whereas Joy has been an active member of the Berkeley Heights community and has raised and educated her children within the school system. And whereas Joy has been a valued contributor to the Berkeley Heights Board of Education for 3 years, including her participation in the work of the following committees and liaisons: Negotiation Chair, Personnel Committee, Finance and Facilities Member and Chair, UCSBA, which is Union County School Boards Association Liaison, Union County Educational Services Liaison, and Truth Community Healing and Inclusion Committee Township Liaison. And whereas Joy has guided the Berkeley Heights Public Schools, serving in a leadership role for the last year as the Board of Education Vice President. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Berkeley Heights Board of Education hereby recognizes Joy Young for her contributions to the students of Berkeley Heights Public Schools and thanks her for her service to the communities of Mountainside and Berkeley Heights. And be it further resolved that the Berkeley Heights Board of Education wishes Joy continued success and happiness in all her future endeavors. Signed and sealed this 14th day of December of the year 2023. So I would just like to say a few words on behalf of Joy. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board. Today it is both an honor and a bittersweet moment as we gather to bid farewell to an outstanding member of our board, Joy Young. Someone who has not only served with distinction over the last 3 years, who is a valued colleague and friend, but also has been a source of compassion for education, tirelessly advocating for the betterment of our schools and the students that it serves. Joy, your kind and caring nature and calm demeanor has not only fostered a sense of camaraderie within the board, but has also provided unwavering support to me personally. As the president of this board, I've had the privilege of witnessing your dedication, hard work, and compassion for education firsthand. It has been evident in every decision, every action, and every conversation. I know that you have also been a mentor beyond the confines of our board meetings, providing guidance, patience, and perspective to all our new board members on how to weather difficult times by helping them navigate their roles and responsibilities. And I know that Ms. Bradford has experienced your time, compassion firsthand. Your deep knowledge of our facilities has been an invaluable asset as a member of the chair, as a member and a chair of the Finance and Facilities Committee. And the decisions that you have made have helped, the decisions that you have made will continue to have an impact on the quality of education that we provide. On a personal note, and I'll try not to get emotional, I want to express my sincere appreciation for being not just my vice president, my friend and confidant. Your kindness, caring nature, and genuine support have made a significant difference in my duty as board president. You have not only listened, but also provided me invaluable advice, helping me gain perspective to navigate the complexities of my responsibilities. I am so fortunate to have had you by my side. As we bid you farewell, Joy, we do so with a mix of sadness and gratitude. May your path ahead be filled with continued success, and may you carry your spirit of compassion and wisdom into all your future endeavors. On behalf of the entire board, we thank you with our deepest appreciation and wish you and your family a very happy holiday. And thank you once again for your exceptional contributions to the students in Berkeley Heights. Okay, now I'd like to read a resolution from Mr. Cinciulli. Whereas Robert Cinciulli is a resident of Berkeley Heights, New Jersey, and whereas Robert has been a member of the Berkeley Heights Board of Education, dedicating himself to providing for the educational needs of the students of the Berkeley Heights Public Schools, and whereas Robert has served as a member of the Berkeley Heights Board of Education with distinction from January 2017 through December 2019 and January 2021 through December 2023. And whereas Robert has been an active member of the Berkeley Heights community and has raised and educated his child within the school system. And whereas Robert has been a valued contributor to the Berkeley Heights Board of Education for 6 years, including his participation in the work of the following committees and liaisons: Personnel Committee, Policy Committee Chair, Negotiations Committee, Technology Committee, Finance and Facilities Committee, NJSBA Liaison, Legislative Liaison, Environmental Commission Liaison, Technology Advisory Board Liaison, HRB Liaison, and Educator of the Year liaison. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Berkeley Heights Board of Education hereby recognizes Robert Cinciulli for his contributions to the students of the Berkeley Heights Public Schools and thanks him for his service to the communities of Mountainside and Berkeley Heights. And be it further resolved that the Berkeley Heights Board of Education wishes Robert continued success and happiness in all his future endeavors. Signed and sealed this the 14th day of December of the year 2023. I'd also like to say a few words on behalf of Mr. Cinciulli. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of the board. Today we gather to express our gratitude and bid a fond farewell to another outstanding member of our board, Mr. Cinciulli, who has served with distinction for 6 years, and it is my honor and privilege to say a few words on his behalf. As the president of this board, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand Robert's passion for education, and it is truly contagious. His commitment to the betterment of our schools and the educational experience of our students, I believe, has been his driving force to bring about positive change. One of Robert's many strengths lies in his thoroughness. His attention to detail and great knowledge of policy and legislation have been instrumental in shaping the direction of our schools. Recognizing the need for a comprehensive approach, Robert took the initiative a few years ago to start a policy committee, leveraging his expertise to navigate and update our policies to meet the evolving needs of education. It's worth acknowledging that in any collaborative effort, differing opinions are inevitable. Yet despite not always seeing eye to eye, Robert has always been very, very supportive. His encouragement and support have been invaluable, not just to me personally, but to the entire board. Robert has not only been a valued colleague, but a true friend. His advocacy for special education is commendable, reflecting a deep-seated belief in the importance of inclusivity, ensuring that every student receives the support they need to thrive. As we bid Robert farewell, I'd like to thank you, Robert, for your passion, collaboration, thoroughness, hard work, and dedication to the students of Berkeley Heights. On behalf of the entire Board of Education, I'd like to express our deepest appreciation for the exceptional contributions you have made as a member of our board. I'm truly going to miss you. We wish you continued success and fulfillment in all your future pursuits and hope that you and your family have a very happy holiday. I was going to say, would you two like to say a few words?
Joe, I think you have to go up there. They can't hear you well if you're over there. Yeah.
That's a lie, but that's okay. So I would like to say this, and I did not plan on speaking, so you have to bear with me. I didn't think I was going to get quite so emotional.
Me neither.
As I, heard Angela's words and thought about this as a huge milestone of like an end of one chapter and a beginning of another chapter. I've learned so much from everyone here and even in the community. I know not everyone sees eye to eye all the time, but for me, it was a learning experience. It was truly fruitful, and I will take so many lessons that I will carry on throughout my life. So thank you to the community for entrusting your district, oh God, with me by voting for me 3 years ago. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the words of encouragement, the random hugs I've received in supermarkets. I came in just wanting to give back to a community that gave to me so much for my kids that started in kindergarten. My daughter's in college now, and I tell Ann Clifton all about what she's doing in sports, and she always tells me how Grant and how he's doing. And so it's truly a community that I appreciate. And thank you for giving me grace over the years. Maybe I didn't do everything right all the time, but I did did it from the heart and tried to do it with a positive, compassionate, collaborative mindset. So thank you all.
You forgot to thank your husband.
Well, my husband is now going to get his wife back. And I don't know if he likes that or not, but I'm back, babe.
I see the smile on his face.
Let's go, Robert.
Robert, please. Would you like to say something?
Likewise, I had not planned on, but I remember the first time I spoke with Joy. It was after the election, but before we were officially sworn in. It was late December, exactly 3 years ago. And the thing that I remember most is something that I hadn't experienced with another board member yet, having already served one term. I didn't even realize it. We were speaking and we were laughing about a whole lot of things. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but it made me think back my first term, 2017 through 2019. I don't recall anyone laughing. And we're talking about executive session privately. It was a tough room, I can tell you. This has been completely different the second 3 years. And I guess as a board member, the biggest difference is I feel like we have a board from 2017 to 2019, as some people know, because I've harped on it. It felt like we didn't have a board. And that's all I've ever wanted. I'm like, I don't want a good board. I don't want a bad board. I don't want an in-between board. All I want is a board. And that's finally where we are. It's not always easy. It's not always fun, but I feel like there's collaboration, there's discussion, there's exchange of ideas and perspectives. It's not all put on perhaps one or two people. So we really are a board in the truest sense. And that's an accomplishment, even though it doesn't always feel good or look good. I think that's the biggest accomplishment, and that's really due to others, but I got the benefit of seeing that transition. So thank you for everyone who's made that possible. And thank you to everyone in the public. Again, supermarkets, apparently, I see everyone. And I'll be honest with you, someone will come up to me with that face of recognition. I recognize them back. My first thought is it someone I know through my daughter? Or is this someone from school board or someone who's seen me on video I've never seen before and there's no reason I should recognize them? I never know. I really never know. So maybe there are a few people here tonight that I would certainly know, but the difference. And thank you very much for the flowers. That was very thoughtful. And just the aside, here and there, I'll get an encouraging word, email. I didn't get a hug like Joy does apparently at Stop and Shop. I'll live for that. I'm sure it was ShopRite. Oh, okay. Higher end market. I guess they allow that there. But seriously, thank you to everyone in the community as well as on this board for just all the change that I've seen. And that's actually made me feel very gratified to be here to see it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
I know you're moving on, but I also want to say thank you, Angela, for your leadership over this past year and the drive that you've had to what Robert was talking about of bringing together and making a board environment. So thank you for your hard work and all the stuff that you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy. Thank you. Okay, committee and liaison reports.
Yes, I have some liaison reports.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The Town Council liaison, the Berkeley Heights Town Council met on Tuesday, December 5th, 2023. The Town Council reviewed the committee structure. An ordinance was passed to amend the code for the Grants Committee, and an ordinance was passed repealing the Communications Committee and the Peppertown Park Committee. Holiday activities were discussed, including the successful winter walk, tree lighting, fireworks, and drone displays. Upcoming events were discussed, the menorah lighting and refreshments, which was held last night, Wednesday, December 13th on 2023. The Recreation Committee Liaison. The Berkeley Heights Recreation Committee met on Thursday, November 16th at 7:30 on Zoom, and then tonight they're meeting also. Updates were given on the community holiday activities, the Union County oversight of Berkeley Heights Fields, the Tom Barton Courts, the grant updates, and the Lower Columbia discussion continues. The Union County Educational Services Commission, the meeting was held on Wednesday, December 6, 2023 in Westfield, New Jersey. Policies and regulations were updated and improved. An update was provided on the 6 schools and the schools' activities for the month of December and the upcoming events for December. The holiday-themed treats shared at our meeting tonight were made and sold by the students at the Westlake Schools Vocational Skills Workshop. The PTO Liaison Committee was held today, Thursday, December 14th, with PTO representatives from our 6 schools. The new STEAM director was introduced. Updates were provided by the administration concerning new courses and courses currently in progress. Updates were provided concerning the 5-year curriculum cycle, and there was a time for questions and answers. I have no other updates at this time. Thank you.
That was the PTO Curriculum Liaison Committee?
Yes, sorry,
Yes.
the PTO
Okay.
curriculum.
Wanted to
liaison.
clarify.
I'm sorry, yes.
No problem. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, I have an
Go ahead. Go
Uh,
first.
just regards to finance and facilities, we had a couple meetings, one on December 4th and one on December 8th. So the December 4th, the committee was presented with some initial findings from the transportation consultant that we engaged to improve student transportation. Following that presentation, the committee met again to just download and talk amongst themselves of all the information that was presented. One item that was a standout item that was discussed by the committee and Ms. Sheehan was the immediate action recommended by the consultant, which was to move to a more updated, robust software for bus routing. And this would allow the transportation team to set up the system beginning in January and maximize transportation efficiency during the 24-25 school year, because it's about a 5 to 8 month process to get it up and running. And the recommendation to purchase the new software, I know we discussed in executive session some of the information, but it's on the agenda this evening. And then we also recommend that the committee recommend that we'll provide a public transportation of the full presentation to the entire board at the January and the public on January 18th board meeting. And that's it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Pam?
So I have a curriculum committee update. So during our meeting, we talked about 2 new courses that we recommend for approval tonight. The first one is Create Your Playlist. This is going to be combining our music and lyrics class and our roots and rhythms class. So these 2 classes are now being combined to create your playlist. It will be taught by 1 ELA teacher and 1 music teacher, and it will meet the fine and performing arts requirement. The other one on the agenda is architectural design. Currently, architecture is only a unit in another course. So this is something that we highly recommend to allow our students to explore this area more. They do believe that our students have an interest in this and that they'll be able to add a more advanced course on this later on. So yeah, if approved, these classes would be available in the fall of 2024, which is very exciting. The reason why we approve it now is so that our staff can go out and actually find someone to write the curriculum. And if there's any budgetary needs, they can do that to get it in the budget. Luckily, these 2 do not have any budgetary needs because we have the teachers and the software and all the programs already in place to add these classes, which is great. And then we have, we talked about public complaints about instructional and resource material. So we reviewed a section E of our regulation 9130. It just talks about the complaint needs to be made in writing. Our staff is currently working on a form that will be made available in the principal's office. A committee will be formed and they will provide a recommendation for this material. So that way it goes through a committee that actually gets the chance to really look at what the complaint is. We also reviewed the 5-year curriculum cycle, as Gail talked about. We are going to be doing word study program for the K through 5. We'll be writing curriculum over the summer if approved by the board. in the budget. There are also New Jersey DOE standards that need to be updated in ELA and math curriculum that will probably, again, be written over the summer. K through 5, we talked about Open Syed program. Right now, one teacher at each grade level is participating in a 2-year pilot. Training is happening at the Liberty Science Center. And in 2024 and 2025, we will be in the 2nd year of that pilot. After the pilot, then we will start writing an actual curriculum for it. And then we talked about the New Jersey Learning Acceleration Program High Impact Tutoring Grant. We received the grant, which is amazing. We received all $76,000 that we requested from the state, which is great. This will allow us to have tutoring. It will begin in January. Right now, these will be small groups, less than 3 students. It's targeted tutoring. And we are identifying students that are in the most need right now. Please approve the tutor assignments on tonight's agenda. You'll see teachers listed. We are also able to order materials for these sessions that will have a big impact on our WIN program moving forward as well. So I think about $30,000 in material and another $46,000 just in tutoring money, which is great. So again, these are going to be very small sessions between 1 to 3 children. And so we're really, really excited for that to really boost these kids. The next liaison report I have is the District Diversity Committee met on November 15th. It was the day before our last meeting, so I didn't have it available for them. We focused on Hispanic Heritage Month and what the schools had done. Hughes had a samba to salsa and the Day of the Dead. Mountain Park had Hispanic biographies. CMS did also a Day of the Dead. At GL, the Spanish Club had band, food, music with lots of dancing. One of the students said it was great to see people getting involved in Hispanic culture. At Mary Kay and William Woodruff, they had a Cares to Share where adults come in and they talk about their culture and their background and obviously their holidays. The kindergartners received passports for holidays around the world so they could go around and get a stamp for each holiday that they learned about. And then at GL, they had a lot of great activities going on. They were trying to start annual traditions. They were adding this winter culture walk, which is coming up, and they're really excited about it. And that was in along to their spring walk that they already have. And they said that exposing people to food and things that are not familiar with helps with diversity. They have many clubs working together like the Saga and Project Psych and Robotics and Band, just trying to expose people to different things and come up with new ideas. So yeah, it was a really great meeting and it's always great to hear from the students themselves and see what they're working on. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Pam. Thank you for that. Okay. My glasses on. Board communication. Okay.
We have none at this time. Can everyone hear me?
We can now.
Okay.
Okay, then moving on to your report of the business administrator.
The ASSA student enrollment account was completed and submitted on December 1st. Budget information is being collected from staff and interviews are going to be scheduled with staff in the near future. As we've heard earlier, we had a transportation consultant come in and gave us some recommendations. You've heard some of them. Those consultants will be presenting at our January meeting. The district completed last month pothole repairs at all campuses. The Mary Kay retaining wall project has been repaired and the wall at Governor Livingston was repointed that was leaking over the November break. Tree work has been completed at Old Canyon Road property at CMS, and Mountain Park will be having work done along Mountain Avenue to remove dead branches over the roadway and sidewalk. Chimney and ramp repairs are to be completed at Mountain Park. A new hot water heater was installed by district maintenance staff at Mary Kay. Water line was repaired at our CMS boiler room. And lastly, roof repairs are going to be made at GL and at Mountain Park. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Juskowitz. So before we move on,
You would want,
before I move on to the comments from the public on agenda items only. Can you please address the public comment from last meeting on December 7th regarding the RFPs?
I have a statement on the professional services exceptions in public school contracts law. Under the New Jersey Public Contracts Law, the board is not required to select an architect of record for the district through advertised public bidding or competitive contracting. In NJSA 18A:18A-5, the public school contracts law recognizes an exception to the public bid and/or competitive contracting requirements for contracts exceeding the bid threshold that pertain to professional services. Board Bylaw 177 on professional services provides in relevant part, contracts for professional services will be issued by the board in a deliberative and efficient manner that ensures the district receives the highest quality services in a fair and competitive price or through a shared service agreement. This may include, but is not limited to, issuance of such contracts through a request for proposals based on cost and other specified factors or other comparable process. The quoted language from the bylaw is consistent with the federal accountability requirements of NJAC 6A:23A-5.2. In accordance with bylaw 177 and NJAC 6A:23A-5.2, the board issued a request for proposals from architectural firms interested in serving as the board's architect of record. The RFP is being used to conduct a fair and open process and to seek to obtain the highest quality services at a fair and competitive price. The proposals were not sought as part of any competitive contract requirements of the public school contracts law, which do not apply to professional service contracts. What we have in business section A, where we are having a continuation of our current architect till the end of the year. And I just wanted to explain that before public comments. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to move on to the comments from the public on agenda items only. Okay. So during this portion of the meeting, district residents and staff are invited to address the Board of Education on agenda action items only. The board requests that individuals state their name and town of residence or school of attendance for the record. All comments should be directed to the board president, and depending upon the nature and complexity of the question, it may or may not be answered during the meeting by the administration. If so, the response would occur after this public portion of the meeting has concluded. Although the board may not respond to all items raised during the public forum, all public comments will be considered. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding personnel matters are discouraged and cannot be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the law of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by the members of the public. Please note that if any member of the public becomes disruptive during the meeting, the board president may terminate the participant's statement. Continued disruptions may result in removal from or adjournment of the meeting. Each speaker's statement will be limited to 3 minutes in duration. So please, if you have any comments on agenda items, please can you come up to the podium and state your name. Working? Oh.
Hello.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Natasha Jolly, Berkeley Heights. With the first agenda item, policy 155. All right, so again, my opinion, but I think this places too much power in the hands of the president, no matter who it is. There is nothing in the language of this policy that would prevent the president from assigning the same group to key committees. This increases the stakes for president, for nominating and voting for the president at the reorg meeting. And it's not a mandated policy. So unless, there's really an issue, I mean, was it even an issue at the last reorg meeting? There's absolutely no reason to amend this. The transportation software. I know it was a recommendation from the committee. Question is, were other products compared and reviewed? Was this software demoed? Can you demonstrate how it will be better than the software that we currently have? It's quite an expensive item. Is this a one-time cost, or will there be monthly costs associated with maintaining this survey, with maintaining this software? Mr. Hopkins and the resignation date amendment. I guess my question is that even possible given that he resigned the position as of December 1st? He also replied to Oprah requests on December 5th. So until the board reinstates his position, which is being voted on today, on what authority did he have to reply to Oprah requests? I guess Mr. Juskowitz addressed the issue with the RFP. The only thing I would say is that if you can please send that as an email or maybe publish it. There was a lot of legal references that quite hard to catch. So if maybe you include that in the document section on the website. And then just again, with respect to the architect, can you just confirm exactly what projects that this firm will work on and the cost associated with these projects? For respect to the board goals, I'm glad to see that the goals are there, but just a question in terms of how these goals will be accomplished. Is there the how is missing? Is there a time period for which these goals are effective? Meaning like how long is the board giving themselves time to achieve these goals? I think that's it. Thank you.
Shauna Williams, Berkeley Heights. On policy 155, which is about board committees, just for the people at home, in case they're not familiar with this, right now, in part, it reads members appointed by the president with the consent of the majority of the board. And what is proposed removes the language that says with the consent of the majority of the board. So basically, this puts all of the power of appointing in the hands of a single person. And forgive the little bit of melodrama here, but that's kind of antithetical to the principles of democracy. This is not a monarchy. I really think you need to think long and hard about giving that kind of power to one person. Personnel, to amend the resignation of Stephen Hopkins. Because he resigned on December 1st, you can't go back and make him resign later. That makes no sense. You can reinstate him and then have him resign on December 30th, but you can't amend a date for something that's already passed. That's kind of silly. Last thing, you're missing a dollar amount for solutions architect. I noticed that all of the other appointments have dollar amounts. I don't know if that is necessary to be done or not. Similarly, for item D under business, can you tell us how much money is being reallocated from the funds for support, supplies, and building upgrades, and moved to other purchased services? And can you explain what types of expenditures are included in the category of other purchased services? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sai Berkeley Akiri, Berkeley Heights. So the resolution listed under business, and I did hear the statute 18A:18A.5, but my basic question is, are you planning to amend this resolution before you vote on it today? Because if you look at every resolution under business section, you have a dollar amount associated to a cost. So you as our elected representatives are responsible and accountable for handling taxpayer dollars. How is it okay that you have a resolution which is ambiguous and no amount is being mentioned here? And I see again today, all of you have a blue colored agenda. That means it's a revised agenda. But what we have on the district website is not revised. So I don't know if you have in your revised agenda, you have a dollar amount mentioned, but if it is there, that's great. Otherwise, I would like to know, are you amending it to state the actual cost of this contract like other business items? Coming to board goals, why are we voting on this at the very last meeting within weeks of reorg? One of the goal is CSA or superintendent evaluation. It's governed by law. So why it is listed as a board goal? Just give the courtesy of the incoming board members to have a review and discuss it before you vote on this. I would appreciate if you were incoming and somebody who's outgoing is stipulating that these are the goals, you would like to have your say on that. I also see on the agenda a lot of appointments that you are approving for 2024 on December 14th. I've compared this with previous December agendas. Some of these appointments are for late summer. So I don't understand or like see the need for an urgency to vote on them in December. In regards to one of the report that we got about diversity, this is something that I've raised multiple years. November is also a National Native American History Month. And I have never seen any of our schools. And this is, I know it's great that we celebrate other heritage months, but I think we should also commemorate the National Native American History Month. Thank you.
Anybody else like to address the board before we close the public comment section? No? Okay, with that, I'll close the public comment section. Do we have some answers for some of the questions that were raised during this section? And Mr. Juskovitz,
There are many questions that are raised here. Most of them I do not have the answers for, and I would prefer to look through this and prepare some answers to it for our next meeting.
okay. Dr. Giordano, did you have any answers regarding Mr.?
None at this time. I was looking at the agenda. I didn't get the exact what we're approving in 2024 in December that needs to be approved now. So I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
I know there was a question about the software that came up, and the transportation group actually tested multiple recommended software and compared to the existing software there is today to determine what was deficient. And they found that what they have today was very deficient compared to updated software that's available. And so that's why the recommendation was made.
Okay, and I'd just like to talk a little bit about the board goals. So what we're approving tonight are the actual board goals. The board goals that are on the agenda tonight are what the board, all of the board members agreed on as what they wanted with regards to board goals. And I understand your concern about the CSA evaluation, but it's something that the board wanted to make sure we put on there as a board goal so that we ensured a timely manner. So that is on there. Just to Ms. Jolly's question with regards, we do have a document. A compilation was made of all the board actions. So we have a board action document. A compilation of everybody's feedback was put into a document. It was sent to the board. but it is a fluid document. It is a working document. It has multiple action plans under each goal, and it's going to be worked through. So we're not approving the action plans tonight. What we're approving are the actual board goals. Thank you. Okay, so that with that, I'm going to move on to agenda items. So I would like a resolution to approve the minutes, resolution A to all board members for the minutes from the executive session minutes from November 16th, regular session minutes from November 16th, executive session minutes from December 7th, and regular from December 7th. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? No? Can we have roll call, please?
Ms. Young? Ms. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. Chinchulli?
Yes.
Dr. Forger? Mr. Hyman?
Abstain. I was not present for either of those two meetings.
Ms. Khanna?
Yes to item A and B, abstain item C and D. I was absent.
Ms. Stanley? And Ms. Penna?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to approval of board goals, resolution A, all board members. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
board discussion.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Okay.
have a little concern about this, number 4. Support all district goals. I don't recall, did we actually approve the district goals?
No, we're approving them now. Oh, the district goals.
District
Oh, sorry, I
goals.
thought you said board
Did
goals.
we actually approve those? Because I have a little concern about
I think we did.
saying we
I'm
will
sure we did.
approve all district goals and we haven't approved the district goals because that could open us up to sort of unlimited expenditures. Right?
Dr.
So-
Giordano, can you speak to that to make sure that we don't give incorrect information?
I believe the board voted on those goals, September. I have to go back. I believe it was September though, Dr. Ford.
I think it
I don't
was,
have them in front of me. Yeah,
yes.
there's a
we did.
presentation, myself, Dr. Seminaro, Mr. Nixon, as they went over, we kind of went over the goals, and Dr.
So-
Varley.
So that would be,
Was that September, or October? I can't remember the exact date, but it was
I think
probably
it was
September. Yeah.
September.
okay, so that support all district goals that we've approved. What I want to say, I think.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, it would be what we've approved.
So- to say support all approved district goals. Otherwise, all approved district goals.
Okay, can change that.
Okay.
Board of Education will promote and approve. Okay, can do that.
Okay, but, and I did hear you say we're only approving the goals, not the action plans.
The
Okay,
action plan is a fluid document.
okay,
It's a working
This-
document.
all right. And
So we'll be
so
here.
are we gonna have a discussion about the action plan? sometime?
Yes.
Okay,
In the new year, yes.
all right,
With the new board,
okay,
because they'll be part of the process and be
Okay.
part of the board goals. We'll have that discussion with the action plans. We have a document now, but we will have further discussions with the new board in the new year.
Yeah.
With the action plans. And how we want to accomplish all of those. All right, any more discussion?
I was just going to say, well, first, thanks to Dipti, because if I recall, I think it might have been your first meeting when we actually kickstarted it. So just another thanks to you. Thanks to Angela for pushing it through. This was not easy, took a long time. And I know it is fluid, the action plan, but from what I've seen so far, what we've talked about as a board, I think it's pretty bold and aggressive for us, for any board, and we'll have our work cut out for us to uphold it. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So is it perfect? No,
Of course.
but it is pretty great progress, and we will need to discuss and work to try to keep ourselves on track to all 5 of these and all of the sub goals beneath. So I'm excited about being able to share more of that and engage with the public about it.
And I think one of the requests and one of the action plans, and I think it might have been yours, Jordan, was if you could have the president to do continual updates with regards to the board goals. So as and when we go through the process and we complete stuff, or we need to adjust stuff, we will have conversations at board meetings and constant update to the public as well. So we'll do that definitely.
I have another comment on the number 3. I think it was the evaluation of the CSA. We really need to take a careful look at that action plan because it really doesn't align with our regulations on how we evaluate the superintendent. I urge you all to, I did a careful evaluation and it's a different process than what the regulation and the policy say we're supposed to be doing.
Are you talking about the action plans?
Yes, for the CSA. So
Those,
I just created it. and
They
if
came
I-
off- they
if
came
I had
from the
taken
calendar.
time to email it, I would have been late to the meeting.
the action
All
plans
right,
came
so
from the
if you
calendar.
like, I'll send you, I mean, you can just, and it's not hard, just take a look at what the regulation says. The regulation is very precise about what we have to do.
Okay.
And now compare that to what the action plan says, and you'll see it's not exactly the same.
Okay,
Now,
like we-
I'm not saying, and some of the action plan may just be more of a reflection about how NJSBA wants us to do it
Yes,
and how their software works. But I do think we should have in place an aligned action plan and regulation.
sure. We can certainly look at that
Okay.
as we move forward with.
And
with the
it
goals.
also implies something different about the proposed calendar.
Okay, thank you. And just to reiterate, with regards to when I was compiling all the information, this board is pretty much on the same page. The majority of the goals that are in that action plan were pretty much majority of what everybody on this board wanted. So we really are all on the same page. So that's good. So I think it'll be great working as a team and collaborating, working through our goals, because I think we all want the same things ultimately.
Angela, I just wanted to also, part of the discussion is to validate the need for the board goals. I think we are unique in a district in setting these forward as part of our goals and are part of our transparency and our work with the community and having these goals be accountable for. And each board member also has certain obligations as a board member to complete a board academy. And I just received mine yesterday.
Yes.
That I had completed for the first year, everything I need to for being on the Board of Education in New Jersey. So I think this is important that the public see that we are pursuing our education and our trust in their community, and we're going to earn it. So thank you for these and pushing these through.
So just so everybody knows that what she just got you have to complete it in your first 2 years. So she completed it in her first year, which is excellent. Congratulations, Gail.
We have an overachiever here.
Well, I am retired.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I had,
Dipti.
I had
Yes.
one, so recognizing the timing of when we are doing this, right? And it's been a long process.
It has.
My suggestion also kind of when we look at the action plan, some of them are still, they need to be refined.
Absolutely.
My recommendation is even though we might go ahead with this today, I think we should bring this up again in the, next meeting, be January or the early Feb meeting, recognizing that we will have, new members on
Absolutely.
the board, make sure that they're aligned and put in specific dates or more specific actions as required.
No
So
problem.
almost like a first reading, second
Sure.
reading kind of a thing, pretty much like what we do with the policies.
Good idea. Yes, no problem. Okay, any more discussion? No? So if we have no more discussion, can we have roll call, please?
Mr. Hyman,
Yes.
Ms. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. Chinchulli,
Yes.
Dr. Forger,
Yes.
Ms. Khanna,
Yes.
Ms. Stanley,
Yes.
Ms. Young, Ms. Penna.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on, administration. I would like a motion to approve resolution A through H, all board members, and resolution I, Berkeley Heights only. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? No? Okay, roll call, please. Mr. Juskowitz.
Ms. Stanley,
Yes.
Ms. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. Chinchulli,
Yes, to all.
Dr. Forager,
On the policies, 0155, no, but yes to the other policies.
Mr. Hyman,
Yes on items A through H.
Ms. Khanna,
Yes to everything except policy 155. No to that. Yes to everything else.
Ms. Young, Ms. Penna,
Yes.
motion passes.
Moving on to education. So before I make a motion, I would just like to go down to item D, and where it says courses to be offered in the Berkeley Heights Public Schools starting in 2023-2024 school year. That should actually be 2024-2025 school year. Okay. So I would like to make a motion to pass resolutions A through E, all board members. Do I have a motion under education? Second,
Second.
any discussion?
Yes. Angela?
Sure. Go ahead.
Just a small correction on the agenda. It says architecture design
What
for
does
the
it say
course.
Okay.
Architectural, and that's the only correction.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Anybody else? Any discussion? You can go. Sure. Absolutely. Sure.
Oh, actually,
Yeah,
I do have,
I'm sorry. I should have told you. You don't need to ask to go. Thank you. Yeah.
Angela,
Yes.
I did have a question.
Sure.
This is really just an authorization to create the curriculum, right? It's not actually approving the course
think-
yet.
Dr. Giordano can answer that question better than me.
So, Dr. Forager, we are approving these two courses to run. What will come next are the curriculum guides, which the
Right.
board will approve.
Okay,
And then once the board approves those curriculum guides, then we will get the teachers to write the curriculum.
okay, so you can list this in the handbook and,
Yes. So right now,
they
this
can
is,
sign up.
this is approved. So this could be in the program
Okay.
of studies. Yes, sir.
all right, so it's a two-part thing then.
Yes, it's,
All right,
yeah,
thank
it's really a three-part, sir.
What's the third part?
But the teacher's actually writing the curriculum and possible ordering
Oh,
materials, but
okay,
we're not
right,
gonna
right.
need
But
that
as
yet.
far as board action,
Yeah, board action,
we-
it's
is the course,
Right.
and then we finally approve the
the
curriculum.
curriculum guide. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
I just wanted to repeat that this is the procedure that is, right, has been in place for other programs as well, right? You approve it in the fall, so that way that staff has
Yep.
time to get it to the guidance counselors and they can get the students involved in the class. But we did this with cybersecurity as well. So this is always the procedure.
We did it with big ideas and all that as well. We did it with all of that. Remember last time. Okay. Any more discussion?
On the same point, do we have an idea of sort of the uptake for these courses, like in terms of student interest or even parent interest?
So the hope is talking to Mr. DeGonis and then talking to Miss Curtis, who started today as well. And then Miss Scott, I just had a brain freeze. I
Yeah,
apologize.
Scott, Lori
With the
Scott.
Create Your Playlist, they were struggling to keep the 15 minimum kids within those two classes that they figured they would merge as one. So they feel with the two teachers, there's two of the most popular teachers in our school for language arts and music. There's a big interest at the end of that course. They feel they're really going to be able to that class is going to probably explode. So they're very excited about that just from student interest. And the same with Mr. DeGonis, when he did his homework, he looked around. We're one of the only few schools that doesn't have an architectural design class. So this is the first step in that direction. And I think Ms. Curtis is going to pick up that ball and run with it more. So we get more aligned and more competitive with students who want to go to VOTEC for these courses and what we can do here to enhance it. And obviously there's larger conversations about referendums and different things that go along with that and what we'd like to do with classes and these courses. But so yes, there is definitely a need. Once this is approved, they will start, getting the word out there with students and parents so that we have these classes.
Okay. Any more discussion? If no more discussion, can we have roll call, please, Mr. Jiskowitz?
Ms. Young? Mr. Hyman?
Yes.
Ms. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. Chinchuli?
Yes.
Dr. Forger?
Yes.
Ms. Khanna?
Yes.
Ms. Stanley?
Yes.
Ms. Penna?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to personnel, I would like a motion to approve resolution A through O, all board members, and resolution P through W, Berkeley Heights only. Do I have a motion? Second,
Second.
any discussion? No? No discussion? Okay, if there's no discussion, can we have a roll call, please, Mr. Jiskowitz?
Ms. Stanley?
Yeah.
Ms. Bradford?
Yes.
Mr. Chinchuli?
Yes.
Dr. Forger?
Yes.
Ms. Hyman?
Mr.
Mr. Hyman. I'm
Yes, yes, she's at home. Yes, yes on A through O.
Ms. Khanna?
Yes.
Ms. Young? And Ms. Penna?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Moving on to business, can I please have a motion to approve resolutions A through G, all board members, resolution H through I, Berkeley Heights only?
So moved.
Wait, we just need to do one correction.
We do?
In
Oh, yeah.
A, there needs to be a change of wording as we
Okay,
had was brought to our attention about to continue the architect.
STA
Mr.
project.
Wenzel,
Do
where was
you
it
want-
being placed?
do you want me to read it out or?
Continue, okay.
Would you like me to read it out or okay, do you want me to read it out? Are we okay just to,
Well,
Name the
we're
correction.
taking out the word before SDA project that says complete and change it with continue.
is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, now I won't read it. Okay, so, do I have a did you need me to do the resolution
I
again?
think you need
No?
a set, you need a set, oh, so,
need a
so,
sec- I
so
need a-
moved as amended.
That's
You need
right.
a second still, I think.
Yeah, I needed a second, thank you.
Who was the first?
That's me.
Jordan
Okay,
and
just
then
making-
George,
Just making sure, Mrs. Hyman, okay.
Mr. Hyman.
She'd be honored
Okay, so do we?
or angered. I don't know. Probably angered. The TV's broken, so she's angry. I don't know.
Oh, that's not good.
Can I make two?
I was gonna
quick-
say, can we have some discussion?
Yeah, sure. So one, I just on A, I just as I read this, and I think because there were questions from the public, to me, A, there's plenty of precedent. Typically at reorg meetings, in fact, every year at reorg meetings that I've been at, we do approve a vendor partner without specific dollars. We approve them as the fill in the blank of record. So so this is nothing out of the norm. This is, and I read this as an extension of that because this is an expired window of time. So that's one. Two, this may be unpopular and I know Ms. Clifton has left, but it's come to my attention over the years that the amount that we approve for ice time for our hockey team has been flat for about a decade. So we're approving 18,000. We're not going to change it now. Point that's I think worth making is ice time is up dramatically as has been brought to my attention. In full transparency, I have a kid playing JV hockey. So now I'm hearing it from, I don't get the hugs at the supermarket. I get, can you believe it's only $18,000 and ice time is, so the overall budget for the hockey program is massive. And it is something in line with the comment tonight about what can we do about volleyball and trying to address that for a second gym. It is something I think we should look at. I know this is probably a larger budget conversation, and athletics was a challenge budget, but yeah.
And I think it might be too, I can look into and ask Ms. Clifton, and Mr. Nixon, that only be 18 because we do with New Providence as well. So they may pick up some of the ice time as well. Does that make sense? So it's only 18 that we're contributing, but they may be contributing another 18.
They don't.
Okay.
They pay a per pupil cost.
Okay.
Which fluctuates depending on how many kids we have in the program
Right.
total
Okay.
and how many kids they have
All right.
in the program.
Good point.
There's a
point,
there's a
budget.
massive gap that
Right.
the parents and the kids of that program make up every year, and it's
Right.
growing because of the ice
Right.
time.
Good
So
point. Valid
yeah,
point.
it's
Valid point.
yeah.
It's definitely worth looking.
Yeah.
A budget
They're also
conversation.
back-to-back state champs too. So that's why I
Sure.
thought of it. Yeah.
Sure.
And they actually won it, just saying.
Okay,
We want a hat trick.
thank you.
Angela,
Yes, sorry, Tom.
can I just ask,
Sure.
you know, in what actually do we spend in total on this ice hockey?
I have absolutely no idea. We'd have to find that out for you. That is something we'd have to find out.
This is just ice. This is just ice. Yeah, Tom, if you're including like coaches and everything, it's obviously far more on the
Yeah,
program, but
and what's the bill for the whole thing?
I don't know what we as a district pay. There is a budget, but a big chunk of it is covered by fundraising, and plus the New Providence cost. So, we charge them per pupil and they pay for it. So it's a big budget, obviously. You have two
Okay.
teams as well.
All right.
We can look into it.
Oh, and how many players how many people are involved in this?
You've got 35 players in the program this year.
I think it varies from year to year, right?
Oh, it does, yeah.
That's just Berkeley Heights, right? 35?
No, that's
that's
total.
New
That's
Providence
total.
as well.
35 total.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the breakdown, but
Okay.
that's across two teams.
Any more discussion?
I just wanted to, on F, I wanted to thank the Smith Chiropractic Foundation for their donation. Like we were just saying, sports is so difficult to budget for. It's expensive and it's difficult. So we appreciate everyone in the community who gets involved and donates, because that's how we can keep these programs running. So we really thank you for that. And then also, I think, do you want to mention about the Mountain Park PTO, their donation from last year, which is also great. Our PTO does so much for our schools. So
Yeah, I was going to, but you go ahead. That's fine.
So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any more discussion?
Two things. Back to point number 8, the appointment of the architect. I just want to confirm that when we say the projects recently approved, to be specific, there were 2 that were approved in the 16th November meeting. So we're basically saying that the scope is for those projects between now through June of 2024. So that's point A. There was one more. Whoops, never mind. Thank you. The one where we are approving the addition of a 403B provider. I'm not sure if I understood who is the provider that we are approving. Is
It has it's. I
G,
believe
item
it's
G.
item G.
Yeah, item G.
on the
Under
wrong page,
business.
sorry. I believe the name is Security Benefits is the name of it.
Oh, the provider is called Security Benefits.
That
It's
is
sort of, I couldn't tell. Okay. And they would be new to whatever plan that we have for the district employees for,
That's correct, and we can have up to 10, as what policy states, if I'm not mistaken. We have 6, I believe, right now.
okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Gail, no? Yeah. I would just like to piggyback on what Pam said. Just want to thank the Smith Chiropractic Foundation for their donation to the girls basketball. We really do appreciate that. And of course, to the Mountain Park PTO. They do so much for our schools, the PTO, and they contribute in so many ways. And we're always so grateful for their contributions, and not just their contributions of money, but their contributions of hard work and their time that they volunteer. So thank you once again to them.
I just wanted to make one comment also, because I think it's part of a question from earlier with regards to the transportation. So the transportation software, that's the initial setup cost, but the cost of like the yearly cost is, I believe, the same or less, slightly less than, slightly less than what we have to pay already on a monthly basis for the software.
Yeah.
So that's. Yes.
Can I just piggyback on, I think, Natasha, you had a question on, did we look at more than one? Was there a demo done? So the answer is yes. There were a couple of options that were evaluated for, for fit and in terms of pricing and the capabilities. So that was done, and we've sort of zeroed in on this one for the recommendation.
And we also got references from schools that are actually using the software. So, all right, moving on. I think we're at finance.
Roll call.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So much discussion. Okay. Yes, can we have roll call, please, if there's no more discussion?
Mr. Hyman.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. We did. Yeah.
What was the
No, no, no.
question?
Whether we amended A and
Yes.
vote.
Yes, we did.
We didn't do a roll call, I don't think. We had two motions. We had
Well,
motion and
the-
second.
Yeah, I made the motion with the amended language, but if that's the question,
I agree.
So you want to do a motion to change the agenda for the change of the language? Is that what it is? Okay. Can we have a motion to do that? Second? Okay, so now I need a we did. So can we have a roll call? Yes, that's what I was going to do. Yes. Can we have a roll call for that?
Mrs. Young. Ms. Stanley. Ms. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. Chinchulli,
Yes.
Dr. Forger,
Yes.
Mr. Hyman,
yes.
Ms. Khanna,
Yes.
Ms. Penna,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, moving on to finance. No, right. Right now I have to, you guys are confusing me. Now I need a motion to approve resolution A through G, all board members, resolution H through I, Berkeley Heights only.
So moved.
Second, and because we've had discussion, we can go straight to roll call.
And who was second? Well, who was?
Mr. Hyman.
Joy's running out of these. I think she should take either one. You pick.
So you're the.
I'll take the motion.
and you're
Joy can take the second. There
All
you
right,
go.
just want, that's what I had here, but. Got it. That's it? No more discussion? We're fine?
No, we had discussion.
Okay.
We're looking
good.
for roll call.
Okay. Mr. Hyman,
Yes on items A through G.
Ms. Young, Ms. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. Chinchulli,
Yes.
Dr. Forger,
Yes.
Ms. Khanna, I'm sorry,
Yes, items A through I.
Ms. Stanley?
Yeah.
And Ms. Penna.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, now I can move on to finance. I would like a motion to approve resolution A through D, all board members.
So moved. I did the bills this month.
Okay, thank you, Pam. Second,
Second.
any discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll go to roll call, Mr. Jiskowitz. Thank you.
Ms. Stanley,
Yes.
Ms. Bradford,
Yes.
Mr. Chinchulli,
Yes.
Dr. Forger,
Yes.
Mr. Hyman,
Yes.
Ms. Khanna,
Yes.
Ms. Young, and Ms. Penna.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to the comments from the public on any topic. I won't read it again. So if anybody has any comments on any item, if you could please come up to the podium and state your name and your residence, please.
Hello, thank you. Natasha Jolly, Berkeley Heights. So to the comment that Mr. Juskowitz made that there was no board correspondence, that's not really accurate because I know for a fact there's been correspondence regarding a transportation survey that was done as well as Oprah requests and Oprah back and forth. Regarding the transportation survey, there was a transportation survey that was sent to CMS students. And I know I've emailed with Dr. Varley about this. And there was prior correspondence to my correspondence on this. And that originally Dr. Varley said it was tied to, the Safe Routes to School program. However, what happens during those tallies is they're typically done on the days that are bike to school, walk to school, and the tallies are collected. They're given to Miss Marley, and then she aggregates them, and then they're given to Miss Kapuscinski, who submits it as part of an annual application to maintain that status. What happened here was that the township reached out to the district directly, and that this was then converted into a survey. Google Forms sent to students 4 days on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, 27th without parental consent or notification. So I guess the question is, while we think that this is the reason why it was done, can you confirm how this data is being used and why the parents were not notified? Because it was most certainly a survey and not a tally. So then with respect to class size, I did send an email to the board on the 19th of November. There was a meeting, I believe, that Ms. Penna was supposed to have with the superintendent regarding class sizes and the influx of, and how to address the influx of kids coming in with all the new construction we have in town. So I was just wondering if there's any planning that's happening right now to address this issue. And I know that this class size, existing class sizes that some parents have, written the board about in the past. With respect to, busing transportation, I know there's a lot of work with the consultant going on, but we still haven't addressed the issue of courtesy busing. So it'll be when, I think Ms. Stanley raised it back in March when we were talking about the budget. And I think the two things are not necessarily, they can be separate and distinct. Courtesy busing is happening now. You can identify those kids and you can send them a bill. And if they want to continue, or not. And then just one other item with respect to curriculum. I know that there's been some concern from some members of the community regarding the materials that are used in the discussions for the Israeli-Hamas war. And I'm just wondering if that has been raised in the curriculum committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Shauna Williams, Berkeley Heights. Thank you, Joy, for your service. I am not going to say the same about Robert because I had a speech prepared, and in it I was going to ask you to kind of reevaluate what you've done as we move forward in having new board members. And frankly, the comments about not having a board in 2019 were highly offensive, and it shows you why there's an issue in working together. How can you work with someone who says, oh, well, we didn't even have a board? Just please, to the remaining members, do your best to work with your fellow board members, to welcome them. That's really pretty much it. I am excited about new transportation software because I don't know, it would be impossible, I think, to do worse than what we had been using. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Fascinating. I'd like to find out.
Can you please state your name?
Oh, my name's Matt, Berkeley Heights, Matt Bainey. Can the board please provide an update on all pending litigation? Bit of an increase in legal spending over the past 3 years. Wouldn't you agree? I'm a taxpayer, so I'd like an update on all pending cases and legal spending. I'd like to know what the cost is for the legal defense of Dr. Volley's nepotism case. What are the consequences for the superintendent not following district policy and state law on the nepotism issue? Why did the board attorney choose to defend the superintendent given her public statements didn't match her certified statements to the court? I'd like to know the answers to these questions, please. That's it. That's all I got.
Just hold on. Before I close public, is there anybody else who would like to?
Hi, Bhargavi Akiri. About the courses approved tonight, while I love both of them and architectural design in particular, I'm just noticing in the attachments, the directions say that these proposals should be submitted prior to September 30th, and the date of submission on this proposal is October 18th. And I love to have these courses. My question is, why do we have these district policies? Who's responsible and accountable for ensuring that we are abiding by these policies? And what are the repercussions for not abiding by them? That's my first question. Second question is, many neighboring districts and across the state, if you go and observe the Board of Ed meetings, they have enabled remote participation through Zoom meetings. We've been having conversations. We've talked about how much we've spent. We moved our location from Columbia to GL. And I think we've spent over $10,000 in equipment. The voice quality here in the room is, we can't hear sitting in the second row. There's the AC hum going on. Half of the time, things are not working. So I don't understand. And then at the last board meeting, I heard Mr. Giordano say we are spending about $6,000+ to have the Zoom capability. YouTube was cheap. YouTube was like nothing. I don't think our township spends that kind of money on the Zoom capability. And the whole idea of, or the intent before moving from GL to here, after 2 years of back and forth, was we're going to enable remote participation so parents can engage or attend the meetings and ask a question. Madison can do it. There are other districts in our neighborhood who are able to do it. So I don't understand why we are unable to do it. And if we are unable to do it, why are we wasting taxpayer dollars? Coming back to transportation, can the district provide an update on the district website on what were the numbers? There was a lot of back and forth on what are the courtesy busing, subscription busing, and general, mandated busing numbers. I'm sure we had to submit numbers to Department of Ed in October as per the requirement. So can the public who's actually footing the bill for courtesy busing get an update? And you should post these report up there. If one of our district goals is equity, and unfortunately we are forcing some parents to pay for busing, and some are not being charged for the same busing service. So you need to present this data. And as I have requested multiple times, if you have a revised agenda, I think you should give the courtesy to the public to have the revised agenda too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, if there's nobody else coming up, I'd like to close the public comment section on any item. Do you want to make that brief statement regarding?
To the statement regarding the legal representation of the superintendent, I cannot go into any details, but I will note that there is a statute that governs indemnification of school district officers, employees. It's NJSA 18A:16-6, and it provides for the board to indemnify, reimburse any employee officer for any act or omission arising out of it in the course and the performance of their duties of the position. An act or omission of any kind is to be indemnified as a matter of law by statute.
Thank you. So, Mr. Jeskovitz, did you have any further answers for any of the questions?
Normally an Oprah request is not correspondence, it's usually a request for information. So I don't include that as correspondence. And you are correct about the information about the transportation. I know, but that was an inquiry. So if I missed that, that was my error.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Giordano, did you have any regarding the question?
Yes, certainly. That course was my fault. Being new here starting in August, and we had a lot of turnover with other administrators. It's just something me getting caught up to speed. I agree with you. Those things should be followed. I don't necessarily know if it should be September 30th. I have to look into that, but I've made it clear that, those proposals should be submitted to me in August. We should be looking at the numbers after the students take the classes and then they register for the classes. So I absolutely agree with you. It's just that one course was something that got lost in the sauce and I take full responsibility for it. That's not the norm. So I'm looking at that time frame for next year and we'll get better with that.
Okay, and I had a answer for Miss Jolly. The meeting was not with with Dr. Varley, it was with me, myself, and the mayor, Dr. Angie Devaney, and it wasn't regarding class sizes. It was more to find out for them to give us an update on all the updates of all the developments that are coming. We as a district want to try and get ahead to make sure that we know how many people students we're likely to have in the schools. So there was a consultant there who is dealing with their development who needed some information from us regarding what enrollment or numbers of pupils we have for the developments that are actually implemented at this moment. And so basically he took the information and he's going to come back to us and give us some idea of what we could be looking at moving forward. So that was what that meeting was about. With regards to transportation, we talked about the very first time we ever discussed transportation was at a budget meeting, and what the finance committee agreed was that we wanted to do this properly. We wanted to make sure that we got somebody in to look at everything that's going on now. There's discussion about some people getting that shouldn't, some who aren't, and we wanted to do it properly. I believe Mr. Chinchuli said we want to do it properly, not quickly. So the intention here is to make sure that we do it properly. We want to make sure that we get a consultant in, we want to get the software in, we want to do it properly, and we want to make sure that we have it all correct moving forward. And the intention is to have it for the start of the school year, 2024, 2025. So, if there is no new business, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed?
No.
Meeting is adjourned. And once again, I actually just want to say congratulations and thank you to Robert and Joy. It's been wonderful working with you both. You both brought unique skills to the board and we valued you both. Thank you.
There's a lot of coding going on in every speech, I think. I'm just hearing it.
Coding.
Coding.